Good afternoon, everyone. When Marco said Conduit was going to be part of the Fast and the Furious, I didn't come up with the cool slides that Alexander did at Softonic. The only thing I could come up with was that our co-founders are normally furious and that we don't move fast enough. Hang on, how does this work? Here we go. So let me talk to you about Conduit. Conduit is in the app platform game. We help publishers online build better connections with their consumers. And this was driven by two fundamental ideas back in 2005. One was that lots of people online would like to be able to offer their own branded software if they didn't have to hire software engineers. And the second thing was that they recognized that the internet was continuing to fragment into ever more and more properties, and it was getting harder and harder to actually get consumers to come back of their own free will and visit an internet site. So Conduit developed a SaaS platform so that any online publisher without engineers could actually build their own branded software, which they could then deploy to their consumers. And as a result, this has grown really very quickly. So a few things about our scale. We are the largest B2B internet property on Earth. According to ComScore, we're 28th largest. Alexa's got us, I think, at 32. There we are. We've got more than 200 million active users engaging with the apps powered on our platform. We've got more than 260,000 different publishers. And we are operating around the world. And I expect that hardly any of you have ever heard of us. And the reason for that is that we are helping publishers. More than, I think it's around half of the presenters today already work with us. So the story of Conduit is all about the user growth and the milestones that we've had as we've gone along. So way back in 2005, with absolutely no marketing at all, we were getting publishers at about 10 a day, which doesn't sound very exciting. But even though through those few publishers we were getting about 9,000 new users a day. We kept growing. By 2007, we were large enough, we were able to develop a relationship with Google. The company became profitable in that year. We also raised 8 million from Benchmark Capital and never touched their money. In 2008, we really began to take off. We were getting 300,000 new users a day. In 2009, we hit, in fact, about the same time last year we were here, we hit 1 million new users a day. But the key thing was the marketplace. We suddenly had all these publishers, and they were developing applications for their consumers, and we realized that they could actually cooperate with each other. It was possible for publisher A to take their content, package it up into some form, and then offer it to publisher B for redistribution. And likewise, consumers wanted to be able to customize their experience, we found. So we developed this marketplace whereby publishers could actually start sharing content. And we launched this in the middle of 2009, and it's really begun and has taken off dramatically and is now helping drive our growth as a business. The big thing is now where we are is that we've actually just announced we've switched from Google and we're moving to Microsoft. And it also ties in with our business model, which is that we charge fees for the economic transactions that are going across our network. So whether it's eBay or Groupon or Bing or any of the other thousands of publishers that we work with, we're taking small chunks of the value that is being generated. It says here that we've got 23 new installs a second. I checked this morning, it's actually now 29. So that's about 2.5 million new users a day now that we have. And we are now north of 200 million active users. So who are the publishers that we work with? They are pretty much everyone you can think of. Whether it's people like the aforementioned Zynga or Playfish or Playdom or any of the guys in the social game space, sports teams. We work with about, I think, 100 football clubs across Europe, or media companies like MTV, but the bulk of our publishers are online properties that none of you have ever heard of. So these are things like the Cleveland Police Scanning Society or the Buy Sell Cows community. And we've effectively helped aggregate all of these long-tail properties into part of the Conduit network. So three quick examples of how publishers have taken advantage of us. This one here is an example of a long-tail publisher. This is two guys who developed a game which runs in the Chrome of a browser called Pitsy. It's Tamaguchi. He has got so far north of 57 million installs of this little game since he launched, which is a pretty sizable number. And he's still got 7.5 million active gamers. And we had no involvement with this guy. He just took advantage of the infrastructure and the network of publishers that we've put together in order to get the distribution. Also, Conduit helps publishers. So we worked with Coca-Cola, with Coke Zero, and helped push a browser app across our network and got it on more than 8 million machines in 10 days. And again, just helps demonstrate what is possible when you are able to aggregate this sort of scale of publishers. And this is a nice example as well. An entrepreneur developed a business around the World Cup, and he developed an app and partnered with Powerade. And he generated significant revenue by getting this sponsored app distributed across our network, particularly in Latin America. So where is Conduit going? Well, we're still very much focused on the two core ideas that we originally started with, which was one, make it simple for people to build software, and two, is help them build a constant connection with the consumer. And now that there is so many different forms of apps, whether it's on the browser world or the mobile world or set-top box or cars or washing machines now, it doesn't really matter. Publishers are going to have to be there. So Conduit is determined to solve the big problem of platform proliferation so that any publisher will easily be able to build their apps across multiple platforms. The second thing is discoverability, which is that if you do build an app, whether on whatever platform, it's a nightmare to get it distributed. You know, how do you find the right users that you're looking for? No one has really solved this yet. We think that Conduit, with the scale and the breadth that we have, is well positioned with all the data that's going through our system to help publishers and consumers find the apps or distribute the apps that they're looking for. And the last piece is monetization, is that we're continuing building new tools to help our long-tail publishers as well as our bigger partners generate revenue. Thanks a lot.